See the child. That is the first line of Cormac McCarthy's Blood Meridian, and it tells you right from the start the game that the novel is playing. Think about that phrase, see the child. Can you see the child? No. You're looking at symbols on a page in a language that you understand. The child exists in an esoteric realm created by you and the novel. It's a shared hallucination. It is this realm that Cormac McCarthy's Blood Meridian is trying to stretch to the limits of. The novel, for those uninitiated, focus on the kid, that child from the first line, who is never given a name and goes to join the Glanton Gang, a group of Indian scalp hunters. We learn that the leader of the gang, Judge Holden, is a monstrosity, more of a creature, an entity than a man. He's taller than anybody else. He still towers over the tallest member of the gang. He's paler than anything that anyone has ever seen. The critic Harold Bloom called him a human Moby Dick, the white whale that Captain Ahab chases. And somehow Judge Holden holds qualities of both Captain Ahab and the whale in his own huge, limitless being. The detail that will surprise you the most about Judge Holden is that he's based on a real man from a historical account called My Confession by Samuel Chamberlain. Samuel Chamberlain doesn't focus on Judge Holden much at all. Most of his book is its own kind of myth legend about his own life, going over all the women he seduced, his adventures in the Wild West. It wouldn't be out of place being adapted as some kind of historical film. But one scene that must have stuck out to Cormac McCarthy was Samuel Chamberlain describing his horrible encounter with a man named Judge Holden. Judge Holden isn't 7 feet tall. He's not paler than anyone else. He's bald, but only on his face. He's clean shaven. That was rare back then. Samuel Chamberlain describes how Judge Holden is a predator to children and a vile man who threatens other people with guns. It's interesting to think of this real figure from history and how our only account of him, our only evidence that he ever existed, is this one account by another small historical figure. It's strange to think that just a few ink dots on a page are what exist as evidence of this man's atrocities. Blood Meridian then makes its task expanding on these potential atrocities and expanding on the man, the myth, the legend of Judge Holden. The main critique you'll see of the book, if you read any negative reviews, is that it's boring. It's just hundreds of pages of descriptions of horrifying violence. Doesn't that tell you something about the novel's function? Isn't that a testament to the hypnotic power of language? You've read so much, you've fallen under its spell, that descriptions of babies hanging from trees like wind chimes is somehow boring to you. This brings us around full circle to the meaning behind the novel's title, Blood Meridian, and the meaning behind that iconic, disturbing end that even if you haven't read the book, you might know about. The kid has escaped the judge, but he goes around to an outhouse and the judge is there. There's a confrontation. We cut back to the bar and the judge is dancing, and the novel says he will never die. Somebody goes back to the outhouse. We don't know what happened to the kid. We don't know if he's dead. We don't know if he's alive. We don't know what injuries he sustained, but the person who's found him is horrified, disturbed. One is reminded of the image of Danny in The Shining when he sees what he sees in the hallway. The character you began the novel with is gone. You don't know if he's dead, but he's off the page. Therefore, he's left your existence, this esoteric realm that the novel has set up for the both of you. But the novel doesn't end with that. It goes back to the judge. As I said, he's dancing. Some say he will never die. That is the end, final line of the book. What does that mean? The judge does not have the same bodily limitations as we do. He can teleport wherever he wants. He seems to have a supernatural knowledge of all things in the land and about the people. He is humanity's cruelty and their need for total domination of all things. Blood Meridian, its title, is a kind of artistic rendering of the concept of the human limit.